desert, for I walk in this world.
Good Friday morning. Hope it's a great day today. Hope you've had a great week and heading into a great weekend this weekend. As always, it's good to be with you for a few minutes in the morning. It is Friday, so on Fridays we do a song and a story, and so we'll jump into that this morning. Harry Dickson Lowes. This student, author, composer, and teacher was inspired to write this particular song based on something he heard. If we can reason that he often generated his songs after listening to a sermon. That method is reportedly what Harry Dickson Lowes sometimes employed in his songwriting. He would listen to a sermon and be inspired and write down some lyrics to a song. And it was also, that method was also true for this particular song, This Little Light of Mine. He wrote that sometime around the year 1920. Though where he first wrote the poetry for the song is uncertain, the 30-ish-year-old Harry drew upon the influences that the Moody Bible Institute had exercised over most of his adult life. So maybe it was there that he gained the inspiration for the words that he wrote. Not sure, but it's possible. Is there a place or a people that move you to words that have lasted for over 100 years? Because that's what's happened with Harry Dickson Lowes and the words that he wrote to this particular song. And one wonders if Harry Lowes knew what would happen or what would transpire, and for how long, when he sat down to compose the poem "This Little Light of Mine." Had no idea what kind of impact it would make. Harry Lowes, he studied at the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago in the early 20th century and later served on the musical faculty of the school, episodes that must have been formative in his songwriting career. He also studied at the American Conservatory of Music in Chicago, the Metropolitan School of Music, and the Chicago Musical College. Anecdotal accounts indicate that Harry wrote at least 2 of the 1,500 songs attributed to him, songs like Blessed Redeemer and All Things in Jesus, as a result of hearing sermons, including one at the Moody Church. And this is a phenomena common to countless other composers and poets. So it's not a new method necessarily, it just was maybe his method of choice. Could it be that Harry was listening to a sermon or was studying from his Bible on the passages from 2 writers regarding light and the analogous acts of spreading God's message? Maybe. Matthew chapter 5, 14 through 16, and Luke 11, 33, both indicate believers should shine, illuminating all the area and a message that inhabits such a place. Harry's first few words suggest that he himself or others he knew felt inadequate to participate in God's mission. A little light, verse 1, might sound, in his first verse of the song, might sound on the surface like something a timid character holds until the rest of what Harry wrote is examined. Verses 2 and 3 relate how the light is taken everywhere I go, and Jesus gave it to me. Hardly the words of a shy and uncertain individual. So was Harry perhaps trying to maybe coax someone who lacked some confidence, at least initially, with the little light? Hold just that much and see what it can do. Then understand what verses 2 and 3 communicate about your assignment with the light. That seems to be his message. Hold just a little bit of light, see what it can do, but then as you continue in the song, read these verses, see what it can do when we take it everywhere we go and share it with people. His simple, repetitive poetry might seem too elementary. Lots of school kids sing this particular song, after all, until his strategy for conveying the light is put into action. Repetitive, over and over and everywhere we go. The question is, do you and I have only a little corner of our own world to influence, or is it bigger than that? And I would argue that it's bigger than that. And we start in our own corner, and then we go from there. Most of us would probably say that we're in a small world, and presumably that's what Henry thought too. And so we start with where we're at, and we take it everywhere we go, and it gets bigger and bigger. But we start with just the small space where we're at, the small part of the world that we're at. This little light has such an uncomplicated message that other artists have used it in other venues. Interestingly, to make the little light grow into something larger. Civil rights groups and organizers used it in the 1950s and 60s to help promote this particular movement. Besides several secular offshoots of the song, Harry's words have spurred additional recitations of the song for children that include hand motions and helping perpetuate its life among believers, a song that we still sing today. And undoubtedly, its appeal is that kids can learn it effortlessly while persuading even adults that none of us are powerless. He just needs me, and he just needs you to hold that light. That's all, and he'll do the rest. And so that's the story of this little light of mine and how it came to be, and we still sing it to this day, over 100 years ago. And so let's sing together, This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine all the time, let it shine. Jesus gave it to me, I'm gonna let it shine. Jesus gave it to me, I'm gonna let it shine. Jesus gave it to me, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And there's some other fun verses that go with it too, but the message is plain and simple. We have a light. We need to take it with us everywhere we go. We need to light up the dark corners of our world, and we need to share the gospel message of Jesus that will brighten anybody and everybody's day, and anybody and everybody's life. So let your light shine this week. Let your light shine this weekend, everywhere that you go. Hope you all have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
They resound with God's own heart. Oh, let the ancient words impart. Words of life, words of hope.